So Marilyn, there's some leaders, when you're with them, there's just like they're magnetic. Every eye goes to them.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah. Well, let's explore what the qualities are of that kind of presence. Let's call it presence, executive presence, personal presence. What are the qualities that you see in those people when you think of somebody that has been that kind of role model for you? What do you see?
Well, one person that I have in mind, the way he stood, it was like he was solid. And he knew why he was in the room. Wasn't just wandering.
Right, right. So there was a solid presence.
Yeah.
Authenticity, perhaps.
Totally. Yeah. Totally real. What was on the outside and what was on the inside were matching.
So congruency.
Yeah.
So authenticity, congruency, a sense of stability.
Purposefulness.
Purposefulness. Trust.
Yeah, trustworthiness and giving trust.
Yeah, yeah.
I also think he saw people. There was a respect and an acceptance of people.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like, you know, when I think of presence, personal or executive presence, it's almost like the invisible resume. Because when you are interviewing somebody and you have all these questions in front of you, the invisible resume is what's happening between you.
Yeah.
You know, how do you feel about that person that's sitting next to you? Do you feel all those things that you just mentioned? Because when we look at presence, you know, research shows that one of the first things that happens when leaders fail is they didn't have that kind of presence. They had the people skills were missing.
So is it learnable?
I say yes. It's learnable. It's one of those things that we practice, and I think we practice them by exactly the same thing you just did. You thought of somebody who had that, and you remembered that.
But if authenticity is the key piece, I guess it has to become real for us.
How did you feel in his presence?
I felt I don't know. I felt safe, but I also felt challenged.
Yeah. So you felt safe, but you felt challenged. Was there some part of what you felt when you were with him that you would like a piece of?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's like a clarity.
Yeah.
It's one of those people who says, okay, I've listened, and here's where we're going. And there was no doubt. Like, okay, yes, we are.
His ability to influence you brought you right along with him.
Yes, very strong.
Very
and I
strong.
think there's a huge link between that presence and influence.
Absolutely, yeah.
I also think, though, it's changed a lot. I mean, you kind of go back to the early Jack Welch, you know, charismatic leader.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a presence that works.
No, that
today.
was a bit gruff.
It was almost like, you know, the locker room speech. It's almost fake. There was a distancing.
Yeah.
And I guess part of it is that the presence has to align to who you really are, but also to the reality of the work you're doing and the environment you're in.
Yeah. So how do you learn that? You know, I say, yes, you can learn it. And I think you learn it by identifying people that model that for you. And just noticing that. What are the qualities there that you enjoy? How do you feel in the presence of that person? And just starting to just develop that for yourself.
Well, I see a huge emotional component to it.
Absolutely.
Which is about not being in reaction myself, but also creating the emotions in myself. And we know part of emotional intelligence is actually generating emotion authentically. So that becomes real, and I can walk into the room with that.
You can walk into the room with that, and the people that are in the room with you are remembering much more about how they felt with you than what you said or did.
Yes.
And that, I think, is a really important piece of presence. You can deliver lots of messages if you come in that space with that grounded, authentic, congruent set of qualities that we're both describing here. That really gives you the power to influence people and the effectiveness to bring people along with you.
And a clarity for yourself that translates to a clarity in the room.
That's right.